This week in Jamaica Now, immigration jitters. Jamaicans told to expect heightened scrutiny when they travel to the U.S. as the world reacts to the refugee and Muslim ban imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. Pastors and policemen, the most prevalent high-profile sex offenders against minors. Moravian pastors drop planned lawsuit against complainant in sex case, and they have retained 2 top criminal lawyers to defend them. And shutdown of petroleum sector averted. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. There has been intense immigration jitters for Jamaicans living in the United States in light of the 90-day immigration and refugee ban on persons from 7 Muslim countries imposed by President Donald Trump. Amid the concern, immigration attorney Delia Walker-Huntington is urging Jamaicans with citizenship from any of the banned countries to seek legal advice before traveling to the U.S.
Immigration is one of these areas where the people on the front line have a lot of discretion. And so depending on who you get as an immigration officer when you're trying to enter the U.S., whether it is a green card holder or a person with a visa, green card or the visa gives you permission to come to the border legally and ask for permission then to enter. So you can expect increased scrutiny from some officers who are going to take these executive orders literally and who are going to try to deny people entry into the United States. It's not a matter of trying to scare anybody. These are just the facts of a new reality that we're living in.
And at least one leader of the Muslim community in Jamaica says President Donald Trump's ban is an act of discrimination which passes judgment on all Muslims.
When you pass a law like that one, you're supposed to allow those who are already on the way before you know, so that we will not cause embarrassment. And the point is that everybody make a choice on their own way. So it's a discrimination. That is not something that is right.
Meanwhile, the government has said it is closely monitoring the situation and has appealed to Jamaicans to remain calm. The 2 Moravian ministers charged with having sex with an underage girl have dropped plans to file legal action against the complainant. Attorney Peter Champagny, the new lawyer for former Moravian President Dr. Paul Gardner, says he did not want to give the impression there is any threat of intimidation. Pierre Rogers is now representing the Reverend Jermaine Gibson, the former deputy church president. The pastors had their first appearance in the Manchester Parish Court this week, where their bail was extended to next Wednesday when they will reappear. Meanwhile, the head of the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, CISOCA, Superintendent Enid Ross Stewart, says pastors and policemen are the most prevalent high-profile perpetrators of sexual violence against minors. And psychologist Dr. Lakem Samaj says he is not surprised.
You find that more often than not, these are not strangers, meaning it's persons who have access to the individuals. So, for example, almost the first kind of place you look, relatives. Pastors and police officers, we should not leave out teachers, because those are all those persons who are trusted, who get close to individuals and oftentimes have to work through their own weaknesses.
The Child Development Agency, the CDA, has removed 2 children from their home in the Meadowvale community of Portmore St. Catherine following complaints that they were facing repeated physical abuse by an adult relative. The children, aged 4 and 8, were taken away on Friday afternoon as the police began a probe into the alleged maltreatment. A 25-year-old woman said to be suffering from a mental condition is also reported to be facing abuse from the adult relative identified as her mother. The 4-year-old girl is the daughter of the 25-year-old woman, while the 8-year-old boy is the son of the alleged abuser. The St. Catherine Southern MP Fitz Jackson and the Jamaica Bankers Association have agreed on a 5-point plan to influence discussions on how to protect depositors while limiting government influence. Mr. Jackson, who has been pushing for tighter regulation of banking fees, on Monday met with a team from the association led by President Nigel Holness. Jackson has tabled a bill in the Parliament to amend the Banking Services Act to introduce a minimum service package including 120 free banking transactions a year. But the Bankers Association and the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica have objected to the proposed legislation, saying it would interfere with the free market system. A shutdown of the petroleum sector has been averted for now, as the Jamaica Gasoline Retailers Association and the government have agreed to hold further talks. The JGRA gave notice that its more than 100 members would go on strike over what they say is the unfair treatment of a former gas station owner in St. Ann by Ruby Energy Jamaica. The association claimed that the dealer was ousted from her service station without sufficient notice and compensation. Harvard Ruby has denied the claim. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@leanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, we bring you highlights of how the world reacted to the Muslim ban imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump.